Hello, what's up everyone? I hope you're all doing well and had a great weekend in still this crazy world. The war is still going on, and yeah, I just hope that everyone is safe. And of course, much more importantly, happy Easter to everyone out there. So as usual, before we dive into everything, could someone let me know if everything is good, the video, the audio, and then well, we'll cover what happened this week, which was not much, and what you can expect. Hopefully, some movement for this coming week. So I'll just wait a couple of seconds as usual, and then we will dive into everything. Uh, See if we don't have anyone. Some people, but if we don't have any confirmation, then I'll just dive straight into everything to not waste anyone's time. Mm, Well, I'll dive into it, and if we have any problem, I think someone will let me know in the live chat. But, give me 1 second. Okay, so we'll start with the announcements as usual. We'll dive into the weekly recap, and finally, we will cover this week's price action as always. So, for the announcements, as you guys know, if you want to trade with a 30% fee discount on Bitunics, you can go ahead and do so with our referral link, which will be available in the description of the live stream. And if you want access to my indicator, which this week as well gave a very good signal for the top, we had the 4-hour imbalance right there. The link will also be available in the description. Hello, Jean-Pierre. It's nice to see you. Audio is good, so thank you for the confirmation. Happy Easter, my brother. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. But yeah, so diving into the weekly recap, last Sunday, once again, I had two plans, one bearish plan and one bullish plan. For the bearish plan, which would not have offered any trade, personally, I did believe that Bitcoin was ready to drop to the downside below $60,000. I will talk about this view in this live stream because I might need to update it, but it is important to outline. But the second plan, which just like last week ended up playing out, is that we would take out Friday's lows into the range low, $65,000, to see a bounce towards $70,000 and then see a reversal to the downside. This plan played out pretty well, even though this week was fairly choppy. So, can remove this. Personally, I didn't take any trade. I just took profits on my short. So I closed 40% of my short position around $66,700. The reason for that is because once again, price has just been pretty choppy, and if we get yet another bounce next week, I just don't want to be holding my entire short position and just round tripping freaking half of my profits again. So I closed 40%, and that's the only thing I did this week, okay? Going back to the charts, we did do an update on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, I think we did an update on Wednesday, and I outlined these two levels. So these will be relevant in today's update. So the first thing I want to say, on the higher time frames, always keep this in mind. My plan has not changed and will not change unless we break, of course, $76,000. This is the high time frame plan, okay? Got the rejection. We are seeing the move to the downside. The bottom will come, in my opinion, once we break $60,000. I've said it before, I will say it again. We will get peak fear, which means the war will unfortunately get a bit stronger still, and then we will have good news. The war will end and we get a reversal to the upside. So on the higher time frame, absolutely nothing has changed. I would still like to see sub $60,000. Now, on the lower time frames, this is where I think that I might have been, I wouldn't say impatient, I mean, I have been very patient, especially with my short at $74,000, but maybe I didn't think this through too long, but we might need to chop a bit more before dropping, okay? This also goes back to this plan, which I drew 2 months ago from now, where we would get, as you can see, after the rejection, we would get a bit of sideways price action before dropping to the downside. So looking at this and going back on Bybit's chart, we also front ran the monthly pivot. Okay, as you can see, we didn't tap the monthly pivot. I don't care about the quarterly pivot as much just because it's so high, but you can keep it in mind. The quarterly pivot comes in at $73,500. This one is not as important, but the monthly pivot, it is a good clue that we have front trended, so maybe we are just not ready to jump yet. So with this in mind, what am I personally thinking about? Well, we have two options this week, in my opinion. The first one, fairly simple. We got a drop. We take out all of this liquidity. We have a double bottom. We have a wickless candle right there at 63.7, but I don't know if I like this one. Happy Easter. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. I do appreciate it. Hello, Kajus as well. So we have a wickless candle. I mean, you can keep it in mind, but for me, it's just not good enough for a long position. I think this liquidity is a bit better. And what we could get this week is more chop, tap the monthly pivot a bit later, which remember is above this high. So you got the drop, take out the liquidity, and then get one last bounce, a bit of chop to tap just this level. We don't have to go any higher, chop a bit more, and ultimately come back down. This is, I think, what I'm currently thinking about, just because again, I am not 100% sure that we are actually to get a straight drop to the downside. Now, of course, if we get it, I'll be happy. Once again, I am still holding 60% of my short position from $74,000. So I would be very happy if we get a straight drop to the downside. But I am starting to believe that maybe we need a bit more ranging. Okay, so that would be the first scenario. It will be activated if we take out, probably if we just take out $65,700. Okay, so let me hide this. That would be plan one. I do want to do a second plan. Sunday plan one. I don't have any preference, I'll be honest. Sunday plan one. Okay, so this one would offer a long, in my opinion, below this liquidity. I will be interested in hedging my short position to take it back up towards $70,000 before hopefully getting that last high before the drop back below $60,000. Now, the second plan, this one could be more interesting just because price is holding up here. But we do have a second 4-hour imbalance, which is extremely weird, I have to admit. So, second plan, 4-hour imbalance, which is partially filled right there. 1 hour. We have this candle, which is also partially filled, and an order block down there. That is a fairly interesting support in my view. So the second plan would be that instead of taking out the liquidity at $62,000, okay, we just get a drop to here and then get a bounce, maybe do something like this, and then at this point I would say we probably hit 70.8 and then get reversed to the downside. Do I like this scenario? Do I like it? I mean, I like it as a pure technical scenario, but my main concern is that for 2 weeks we have done the exact same thing, which is that we've got a dump late Sunday, bottom early Monday, or even on Sunday, right there, we bottom on Sunday, and then we're getting pumps on Monday. Same thing right there, bottom on Sunday, pump on Monday. So do we get the exact same pattern 3 weeks in a row where we get a dump late Sunday and a pump on Monday? I don't like it as a pure psychological fact, right? Because it will be the same pattern 3 weeks, the exact same pattern 3 weeks in a row, but this is a valid support in my opinion. So I don't know. Keep this in mind. I think it's a valid scenario. I'm gonna keep it in mind. I will, if we get a job today again, I don't want to be trading today. Okay, it's Easter. I'm pretty tired. I want to chill, and I'm just not interested in this long. If we get it today, if we get it tomorrow, it's another issue. And anyway, if we get the bounce from here, I'm pretty confident that we will get a reversal to the downside. Okay, so that we will get the exact same thing as we got the past 2 weeks. We got a chop midweek. We got a chop midweek. So probably we get a chop midweek. So maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and we reverse to the downside. Okay, so that's why in this case I wouldn't really mind missing that long position, even though it could bring home some nice profits. 6%. That is a very nice trade, 6%. Okay. So hopefully we get it tomorrow. I'm done with freaking Sunday lows. They're getting annoying. But yeah. Scenario 1, scenario 2. Which one do I like more? Hmm. My issue with this one, my issue with this one is that this drop seems too big. Right? So what would that mean? It would mean that we probably got a bottom somewhere around Friday, maybe. As I do like Friday lows. I don't know. We'll have to see in the time. We'll have to see in the time. I'm just gonna keep the support for now and this plan. If we break it, I can look for the second plan. Fairly simple. Okay, so that would be it for Bitcoin. Remember, guys, we have the monthly pivot, which remains untapped. For me, this is a pretty decent clue. Plus, yeah, price has just been so slow that I think we're building liquidity on both sides of this range. So below this low and above this high. It's just a matter of time, like which one gets taken out first. Is it this low or is it this high? And of course, on the higher time frame, once again, I am still heavily expecting a break of $60,000 before we find a bear market bottom. So we can move on to Ethereum. Well, Ethereum, I always say this. The only level that the only two levels that I had on Ethereum was this one and then this one, which was a key level to reclaim, as you can see right there, which offered a rejection. Apart from this, Ethereum, just look for it to follow Bitcoin. I don't have anything super interesting on Ethereum to say. Okay. So nothing special to say for Ethereum. It will probably just follow Bitcoin. Bit of an interesting level right there if you guys want to mark it, I think. That would be, plus we have a triple bottom on Ethereum. So maybe if we get the hold on Bitcoin, we get something like this on Ethereum. Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, don't, just keep an eye on Bitcoin, of course, as always. For other coins, I mean, Solana, that's the only coin where I had the bear market target, $51. This remains the target. And yeah, I don't think I want to add anything on Bitcoin. Am I happy with this scenario? I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. Especially, guys, I mean, we have, look, we have a 1 hour imbalance here. I'm sorry. This is too bearish. This is very bearish. The fact that we have an imbalance here, that is very bad. So yeah, is the support gonna hold or not? That would be the question. Okay. So we can move on to anything on gold. Not really. Nah. On silver. Not really as well. But I do want to talk about the stock market. All right. Because, well, as you guys know, we got the rejection of our resistance that we shared month ago, literally. But the target, the second target that we found last live stream, I think will get reached. I am fairly confident seeing how things are going for Bitcoin and in general as well with the war. I think the stock market, like we probably have one more job on the stock market. Fairly confident in this. So yeah, I'm still eyeing BN. I'm still super interested in the stock if we can get a nice discount. Apart from this, I'm just holding Netflix at the moment, which offered the sweep of this double bottom. So yeah, stock market, expect another leg to the downside. We have this very nice liquidity, $6,200. So I'm gonna keep this on my chart because I like it. Think that would offer big opportunities. So if you guys have any questions, of course, when will you become an oil guy? I think never. I think never. I just look at enough assets that I'm fairly happy with. I mean, I have Bitcoin, right? I have Ethereum that I've bought on spot, silver that I used to hold and I sold, so I'm not really interested in precious metals anymore. And then now I have stocks, so it's like I don't know, do I really want to add oil to my watch list as well? I don't know, man. It's probably gonna do something like this, right? Fairly violent, where you get a rise, a rise, a rise, and then you get the war end, and then you get a reversal to the downside. It's not really analysis. I'm not an oil guy once again, so take this with a grain of salt. But look, my prediction, just by looking at the charts, if anyone is interested in my prediction, talked about it before, but this is how it's gonna play out. The war is just gonna end in summer, okay? So until summer, Bitcoin is either going to chop, which lines up with this scenario and the second one as well. So Bitcoin is either going to chop or we're gonna get a straight drop to the downside. But Bitcoin is simply not gonna make new highs. I've said it before anyways, purely technically speaking, we cannot break this resistance. That would be a massive sign of strength. So if the war is gonna continue until summer, oil is gonna go up until summer and then it's just gonna top out. That's how I see it. Again, I'm not trading this, guys, so again, take this with a grain of salt. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. Is this really an asset that that you want to hold, dude? That is crazy. Reminds me of silver. We talked about this before the drop. Look at silver, how it puts in highs. Get the high, you get a massive drop. What happened now? We talked about it before it happened. We got a high, we got a massive drop. So is it gonna do the same thing once again? Where you just have like a freaking rocket? A rocket shaped, like a triangle shaped top? Probably. Probably. Do you think the gap at 572 5720 doesn't get filled on the S&P? The gap at 5720, where would that be? Oh, this one? This one? Oh, yeah, I did mark out this one, but that was for this drop, I remember. It's possible, possible. Again, look, when we get this job, if we get it, and when we get it, it's very simple. Just keep an eye on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just 10 times easier to analyze, at least for me. Okay, I'm a Bitcoin analyst, so I know how Bitcoin moves. Okay, so I can give you very good analysis on Bitcoin. I'm not saying this because like I say I'm good. Like I have a track record on YouTube. We have predicted every single top on this job, and also a lot of bottoms on this move to the upside. So I am very confident in my ability to analyze the bottom on Bitcoin. So personally, what I'm gonna do, not financial advice, but you guys will be here on the lives when we will be talking about a bottom on Bitcoin. Okay, this is when I will look for the bottom on the stock market. So it will just depend. When Bitcoin drops down there, will the stock market be around $6,200 or will it be around, let's say, $5,800? So in this case, if Bitcoin is at, let's say, 57 and the stock market is still there, then you would say probably not, we don't fill this gap. However, if Bitcoin is at $58,000 and then the stock market is at, let's say, $5,800, then you would say yes, it is very probable that we will fill that gap. And that's personally how personally I will play my investments for stocks. Told you, like right now I'm just looking at one stock, but I will look to add more stocks on my watch list. Okay, as I add more stock on my watch list, I will let you know if you guys want to, of course. But on the stock market, that's personally how I'm going to play it. Just take a look at Bitcoin because I understand how Bitcoin moves. It like it will just be easier for me to call a bottom on the different markets by analyzing Bitcoin and on top, of course, as well. Because when Bitcoin bottom, would that mean that oil is also topping out? Probably. Yes, in my opinion. So yeah, that's personally how I'm looking at it. Okay. So with that said, if we don't have any more questions, we can keep the live fairly short. I don't want to keep it too long. I know it's Easter. Maybe some people are just celebrating. Do you think the stock market can crash 90% like in 1929? Nah, no way. No way. There's just too much money. Like, there's too much liquidity right now. There's too much velocity of money. Okay, that is a term. You can look into it. Velocity of money. There's just too much liquidity and velocity, in my opinion, to get a 90% drop. Yeah, is it even on the charts? 1929. Yeah, it's not even on the charts. You would have to get access to a pretty old chart to see that drop. Oh, actually, it's there. Is it? No, it's not. Well, I mean, there it is. You got a very big drop. 55%. But yeah, I mean, 55% is not really 90%, is it? No, but is the stock market gonna drop even 50%? I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's gonna drop 30%. I don't even think it's gonna drop 30%. I have to be honest. Like, to me, it just makes sense that, again, guys, this level was the only level on my chart for a month. So it just makes sense for me that we got the move up into the resistance. We got the bad news. We're gonna get a fairly big drop, and you will get a bottom somewhere above that low on peak fear, and then we'll get a very, 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 very strong bull market to come on the stocks. And I would say on Bitcoin as well, honestly. I think I've said it before. I think this is the last time you'll be able to get Bitcoin under $100,000. Okay. So if you're interested in investing into Bitcoin, this is probably the last time you'll get it around $50,000, let alone below $100,000. Can we have a brief recap on BTC scenario? Yes, of course, we can. No worries, my friend. So if we don't have any more questions, I will just recap Bitcoin and we'll just end it in there. Okay, I'll wait a couple of seconds. Maybe I can look at other stuff. Link, I remember we did. Was it Link that someone asked, or was it? I don't remember. I don't know. So yeah. Looks like we don't have any more questions, so I will recap Bitcoin before we cover everything. Just one last thing I want to check for myself. Is it a holiday tomorrow in the US? No, it's not. It's not holiday tomorrow. Okay, so do you think the coming bull market will coincide with a lot of inflation? Oh, I have no idea. With a lot of inflation. I mean, we get some inflation at the start for sure, just because of the oil prices, for sure. If you guys know, if you guys know where this is from, but I think, I mean, logically, we'd get some inflation fairly soon, just because of oil prices, right? Right? As oil prices go up, everything else goes up because oil. I mean, it's pretty much everything related to transportation. So any exports, especially, it will get pretty expensive. So yeah, we'll see some inflation, and you still have a lot of exports in the US as well for anyone in the US. So yeah, we'll probably see some inflation. So for the recap on Bitcoin, if you have any more questions, of course, send it while I do the recap, because if I'm done and we don't have any questions, then I'm just gonna end the live stream. So on the higher time frame, Bitcoin, we've put in the top, in my opinion, $76,000. If Bitcoin wants to go lower, in my opinion, we cannot break this high. So right now, we have two options. Either Bitcoin is going to go sideways and then drop below $60,000, or we will get a straight drop to the downside. even though I was personally leaning a bit more to the latter, meaning a straight drop to the downside, right now with how things are going, I am actually switching my stance, and I think that we will get a bit more chop before we drop lower. I think we can go sideways for like maybe a month and a half, and then we'll get a drop lower. So with this in mind, this is the logic behind these two scenarios. First one is that we get a drop. Okay, we got a drop potentially into tomorrow. Ideally, if we get it today, I'm just done. You know, I'm not gonna trade it. You got the drop today. This is a fairly interesting support around $66,100. You got the drop, you got the imbalances, you got the reaction. It is a valid long to target this high and ultimately this first resistance at $70,000. The second scenario is that this support does not hold and we get a bigger drop tomorrow towards $63,000. From there, we take out this liquidity, we get that final bounce to chop a bit more, and then once again, maybe wait a month and a half, and then we get that break below $60,000. Okay. Personally, as I said, I don't have any preference. I think the first scenario, just timing wise, might be a bit more likely. I mean, the second scenario might be a bit more likely, but it's not anything. It's not anything significant in my opinion. Okay, guys. So with that said, once again, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the live chats. What else? Well, nothing. I'm always bad at any live streams. That will never change. So once again, happy Easter, guys. I hope that everyone is safe. I hope that everyone's family is safe and healthy. Today, we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior. Don't forget that. This is the most important thing. But once again, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the live chats. And of course, if you could leave a like on the live stream, that would be massively appreciated. Doesn't cost you anything. Every single setup that we give is for free, including this one at $76,000. So we would like to reach a bit more people. So once again, thank you everyone. And with that said, I will see you all tomorrow morning inside the Discord. So see you guys and goodbye.